we're not cooking anything. We're just making some house salad. So house salad, what does that mean? Because it looks like I got a bunch of vegetables here, right? So salad, it doesn't have to be lettuce, it doesn't have to be arugula, iceberg, romaine, whatever the heck, Caesar. No. We're gonna get a lot of colors, a lot of micronutrients. We're gonna use a bunch of different veggies. This is just kind of what we have right now in the fridge. And I'm gonna cut it all up into kind of a uniform-ish size so it all fits on a spoon or fork, however you eat. And it'll be kind of like just a base. And then I can add other things to it. For example, if I were roasting some boneless skin on chicken thighs, we could add some cherry tomatoes and some olives and some feta cheese and some basil and, turn this into something more flavorful. But just as it is, as it stands alone, it's a vehicle to get vegetables into your body, raw veggies. And, you can call it a salad, even though it's not really just greens. So what do we got? We've got arugula, baby carrots, red cabbage, green cabbage, cucumbers, some radishes in here. There's a head of radicchio in the fridge, so that's gonna go in there. And I've got some orange bell peppers. So here we go. We're gonna cut all this up and we're gonna turn it into our house salad, which is always in a container like this in the refrigerator, which makes like a really quick lunch. Or tonight, I've got some rib smoking and we're gonna do ribs and this salad, and I'm gonna add some Meyer lemon juice, some ginger, and a little sesame oil, kind of give it like a little Asian influence. All right, so let's go. Okay, so we want everything to be kind of relatively small because, thick chunks of cabbage, thick chunks of carrots are not gonna eat nice. So I'm gonna take a slice out of this red cabbage, and I'm gonna have the red cabbage and the green cabbage kind of be a little bit more of the volume here. So let's see. This guy's got a little bit of the heart connected, so I'm gonna work my way down to the heart. I'm gonna cut it pretty thin. So go whatever speed your knife skills are. I'm starting with it about a thumb, finger thickness. We're gonna slice it up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be really similar in terms of size. And just we got a little container right here just so I can keep my workstation clean. All right, so there's red cabbage. So I'll go green cabbage just because we're doing cabbage. And this guy's kind of big, and I've already gotten into him, so he's missing a piece. I think I'm gonna go like a thumb width slice here, and that'll probably be enough. I'm cutting it up enough here that we've got enough for dinner tonight, and then we'll have leftover for lunch tomorrow. Who knows what this might turn into? Something for lunch, light lunch. All right, so there's that heart. I'm gonna cut it in half just so I can slice it, but I want to keep the heart intact because it's gonna hold all these leaves together. And same as the red. And then I'll leave the heart behind because it's pretty fibrous and tough. If I were cooking it, I might use it, but we're not cooking anything. All right, green cabbage into my container. I always put a towel underneath my cutting board because it helps to stabilize it and keep it from moving around. You can see it's still moving anyway, but that's okay. I'm still safe. All right, and since we're doing cabbagey things, radicchio, which I've already gotten into. And radicchio is pretty bitter, so I'm just gonna use a 1 thumb thick slice here also. And same thing, I'm gonna cut it so the heart holds it together. radicchio, we got red cabbage, we got green cabbage. And I'm just gonna mix these guys together a little bit. Just kind of see what kind of distribution of stuff I've got, because this is really up to you. There is no recipe here. If you want it to be cucumber heavy, make it cucumber heavy. If you want to have lots of carrots, add lots of carrots. If you don't like radicchio, don't use radicchio. You get a lot of flexibility here. So cucumber, half of a cucumber. I love these peelers. They are the best. You can get them in like a pack of 3 for like, I think like 12 bucks or so on Amazon. I recommend them. Maybe I'll throw a link down below. All right. And then I quartered them, right, lengthwise. I love these guys too. My little serrated paring knife. I can throw a link down there too. I love these guys. They're amazing. And I'm just going to seed them. Real easy this way. And I feel like pears will cut up nicely. And I'm going to cut them into, obviously the cabbage is going to be smaller. Everything's not going to be exactly the same size. This guy's a little thick. I probably could have, split them down a little bit. But that's okay. We can have some sort of identifiable things in here by size. These will be a little bigger. Cucumbers. Come back here, you. And then what we got next? How about bell pepper, since we're rolling here? And I'm just cutting kind of like the approximate like width of like that strip of cabbage, right? It was like thumb thickness or so. Same general, size. Thumb thickness, so that all these little slices end up similarly sized. Colors are good. It looks really pretty in the bowl. This is kind of a year-round thing that ends up in the fridge. It changes based on, the garden in the summer. In summertime, depending on what's growing and what's ready to come out of the garden, there'll be all kinds of crazy stuff that goes into, our house salad mix. All right, so we're gonna go radishes. We're gonna cut them into thin slices. Use this little serrated paring knife. And then we'll split them apart. So we can stack them and then cut across them. And try and keep things organized so they're easy to handle. Keep your fingers safe, be efficient. And these will end up in little sticks similarly shaped. It's always good to go like assembly line style, like do all the same thing and do the next all of the same thing. Like I sliced all the radishes and now I'm slicing them into sticks versus like just doing one radish at a time. It's just not efficient. Yeah, little straggler. All right, so we got 2 things left. We got some carrots and some arugula. And then we'll mix it all up and put it in the fridge and call it good. So I'm gonna go pretty thin. Carrots can be kind of offensive if they're too big. There's lots of ways to do this. I'm not doing something fancy for, in a restaurant. So these can be a little bit rough. I'm okay with that. So I guess you could call this almost a julienne. A julienne would be much finer and a touch longer. This shape might actually be called an allumette, which means matchstick shaped. So if that gives you kind of an idea of like, oh, make them kind of the size of matchsticks. That would be like kind of a good guideline. All right, some arugula. I don't want to use too much arugula, just a little bit, enough to give it some flavor. And we're just going to wad it up. We're going to make a pile. And we're just going to go across it one time. And it's okay. It's probably going to leave a noisy bowl. some longer pieces or some stems, but that's fine. It'll eat nice. Cool, so there's my arugula. Oh my goodness, my container is so full. So I'm gonna throw this into a big bowl and mix it together, and then I'll put it back in. Okay, here we go. So we got all these veggies that we just cut up, and we're mixing them together just to make it so they're distributed all together. Just a spoon. And I'm not trying to beat them up. I want to, be kind of gentle with them. All right. Our house veggies. And, not quite so fine that it's like a slaw, but I mean, kind of in that direction, sort of. When we cut them up in like small like this, thin, it makes it so when we do add tomatoes, or we add some lemon juice, or we add some fruit, like we could go strawberries and basil, we could make like a vinaigrette with like some black grapes and some balsamic. Having it sliced thin makes it so it's going to hold some of that moisture, and it's going to release some of its own. So you don't need to make like a salad dressing, like using different fruits, cherries, grapes, strawberries, peaches, kind of whatever's in season. Apples are awesome in here. Cut up apples last minute, about the same size. Awesome. Yeah, I don't have any apples tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna probably stick with ginger, sesame, lemon, and maybe some sesame seeds. But anyway, a lot of juices will come out of this once you get some salt on them. The salt will draw out some of their moisture, so you can kind of skip like some processed, packaged dressing or the effort of making your own dressing, because it'll happen in the bowl. There you go. So that is the house salad. It changes depending on what we have, but that'll be in the fridge, because vegetables for health, meat for strength. Somebody told me that once. I think it makes sense, right? And we got lots of colors and lots of micronutrients in here. It's good for you. Eat your veggies.